All right, I think we are live. Hello, hello. We'd love to see some comments to make sure everyone can hear me. But otherwise, really a big welcome today to everybody. Um, yes, it's great. We can hear me. Wonderful. We've got an exciting day ahead of us. We've got a great panel discussion coming up. We've got some really impressive startups also. And we're really excited to be here. So welcome everybody to today's ImpactAim SDGs Tech PreAccelerator. Today is the big day. We know there's been a lot of work being put towards this, and I'm really excited to see all of the pictures that we have later, and also to hear from some of the wonderful sort of guest panelists who have very kindly given us some of their time today to give us a bit more insight. Um, we'll start in a few minutes. We'll just give everyone a bit of time to log on, make sure we get a good amount of people. But in the meantime, I'm loving the comments. Let us know where you're dialing in from. I myself am in Indonesia, so love to see where other people are coming from. I can see we've already got some in Istanbul. I know some of my colleagues are dialing in from Hong Kong. We've got some India representation. Wonderful. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So yeah, just as we wait a couple of more minutes, so just remind some of you who are already here what we've got ahead of us. We've got a fantastic panel discussion with four wonderful people, and then we've got some introductions into what this program has been, why we've been participating in this program, and what the main sort of stakeholders. So we'll hear a little bit about UNDP. We'll hear a bit about Seedstars, and we'll hear a bit more about the program itself. Getting some really, really cool international representation. We've got South Africa, we've got Thailand, we've got India. This is super cool. Um, as some of you have probably seen, you can use in AirMeet, you can actually have reactions at the bottom of the screen. So you might see every now and then an emoji floating up. Feel free to use these as we're going along. It makes the speakers and me, the moderator, know that you're there and that you're listening. Otherwise, it's just me and my little computer screen. So fantastic. All right, I think we're probably good to get started in just one more minute. So we'll wait for that. In the meantime, I'll give a very quick introduction to who I am and why I'm doing all the talking. So I'm Archie Mobley. I'm originally from the UK, based in Indonesia, and I work at Seedstars as the partnerships manager for Asia. And I'm super excited to be part of this demo day today, to be part of this PreAccelerator. All right. So I think if we're ready to go, unless there's any comments from anyone, I would love to invite to the stage. We're going to have a panel discussion now. And so the panel discussion will be hosted on the topic of technology for SDGs. And we have three special panelists joining us today. We have from UNDP, we have Marcos Neto. From Seedstars, we have Alisée de Tonnac. And from Gobi Partners, we have Paul. Hello, here they are all joining the stage. And as we also have a very special speaker who's going to be moderating this panel discussion, which is Virginia Stagni, who is the head of business development at the Financial Times. So I'm going to share just a quick slide so we can see a bit more context. But otherwise, Virginia, you can take it away. It's all over to you now.
Super. Thank you so much, Archie, and thank you so much to Seedstars and the UNPD for organizing this amazing event. I'm really looking forward as much as Archie to the pitches that are going to be following this panel discussion. As Archie was mentioning, I'm part of the Financial Times family, so I'm connecting from London to with you guys from all over the world. Is always fantastic to be working with Seedstars, because I can see here so many different nationalities represented in this panel, as much as in the pitch discussion. So what is the panel all about? So first of all, we are going to be spending kind of an half an hour together, and as Archie was saying, I'm joined here by amazing three panelists. So we have Alisée de Tonnac, that is the co-founder and co-CEO of Seedstars. Hi, Alisée, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. Calling in from Geneva on my end.
Super. So Switzerland, London. Let's make all the connections. Then we got the director of Sustainable Finance Hub for the UNPD, Marcos Neto. Hi, Marcos. How are you?
Hey, everybody. I'm here connecting from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Here we go. So another continent. Fantastic. And then I see here as well the partner and head of ESG for Gobi Partners VC. That is Paul Ark. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hi, Virginia. Glad to be here, dialing in from Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So thank you so much again for joining. What is this whole panel about? As you can see from the slide, we are talking about scaling up SDG Impact, focused, of course, on tech ventures. This panel is an opportunity for you to hear the perspective of all the different free speakers that I just introduced you to in terms of technology and what is the tech role and the efforts that we can see in advancing SDGs. This is something that, we are discussing quite a lot here at the Financial Times. And I guess if you're here, guys, in this PreAccelerator, the cohort of the 46 startups that took part into this journey, this is something really dear to you, and is really dear as well to our media partnership with Seedstars and UNPD and Gobi for this initiative. That's why we are here. The FT talent team has a role in the media partnership, meaning that we are part of the business development team. FT talent is a hub for connecting with under 30 and startups, is a way for a Financial Times, quite a traditional business, and a newspaper to try to connect and intersect trends of new audiences as much as new ventures as yours. So just a bit of a recap: the ImpactAim SDGs Tech PreAccelerator was this cohort of 46 startups from 25 countries. Again, amazed by the diversity in terms of ethnography. Seedstars has been choosing the top 15 to pitch right after this panel. Can't wait actually to listen to the pitches. The 46 startups have undergone a 15-day intensive program where they took part in venture building workshops and impact measurement and management training. And today, this is just an opportunity for discussing and getting a whole new perspective on tech and SDGs. So I don't want to waste any other time. I would love to direct the first question to Marcos Neto, that I just introduced you to. Marcos, if you allow me, I would love to, of course, give a bit of background on who you are and what you have been doing and literally why you are here. Of course, because you're representing UNPD, and as Director of Financial Sector Hub, it's really special, your perspective for us in terms of supporting tech ventures and what UNPD is doing. Marcos, for all of you guys, has been joining and has been part of a UNPD project since nearly 9 years. So you joined in 2013. He has since led UNPD's global work on private sector development. very interesting for the startups out there, and the foundations, first at UNPD's headquarters in New York, and then from 2014 as head of the Istanbul International Center for Private Sector in Development. Since April 2019, Marcos has led the establishment and management of UNPD's new finance sector hub and the development of UNPD's new private sector strategy and its offers on SDG finance. Over the past 25 years, Marcos has led programs in sustainable development, poverty eradication, and multi-stakeholder partnership building. Marcos, you are the best person then to direct this first question of the panel. So why is UNPD interested in supporting tech venture? And how do you think that tech ventures help advancing the SDGs effort? Over to you, Marcos.
Thank you, Virginia. It's a pleasure to be here. Let me congratulate all the ventures and good luck for the pitches coming after here. I won't be able to stay to listen to. But listen, if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, if you look at the agenda, right, there's a few things. One, there's no way we can do that without a strong engagement and a strong partnership with the private sector. Right. Second, we need to get developing countries to leapfrog, states of development if we are to truly deliver by 2030 on the Sustainable Development Goals, right? And we need to get business models and business logic and rationale that integrated the Sustainable Development Goals into the core operation, right? So if you look at those three things, for us at UNDP, having created the Impact Venture Accelerator program 4 years ago, and you're going to hear a little bit more of that, was a kind of no-brainer. We need new blood, we need startups, we need the technology. There's no way you can leapfrog an accelerated, developing countries without the technology. And we need new business models, right? And we need business models that kind of integrated the SDGs, right? Because sometimes you've got startups, you've got companies that want to do things, and don't necessarily figure out what is the best entry point for the SDGs. So for us, it's essential, right, to bring those things together and to bring it with integrity, right? So impact management and measurement is essential, which is part of why we are so engaged with partners like Alisée and Paul and others and you in that aspect. Because for us, it's important that we partner, we bring governments together. And I think that's one comparative advantage for you from us, UNDP. We have offices in 170 countries around the world, and we've got the years of government from an enabling environment, what needs to happen for those ventures that are pitching today to actually go to scale and for the next batch to come in and go to scale. So we can actually play that role connecting, right, the ecosystem of startup, innovation, tech with governments and with the regulatory framework going forward. So I don't want to take it too much time, but for us, this is a perfect partnership, a perfect moment, because as I said, we can't do this alone. We need business. We need the right business models. And without tech, we will not be able to accelerate it. But let's not also be naive, right? There are issues that have to be managed with tech, with business, so we don't end up, on greenwashing or any other those aspects. So it's important to have the integrity that we are all trying to do here in that aspect. So back to you, Virginia.
Thank you so much, Marcos, and thank you really for making us understanding the link of also what is happening behind the scenes and what is needed in the ecosystem today, and what are the actions, of course, the UNDP is taking. So over to you, Alisée, because of course Marcos mentioned how meaningful is the partnership with the Seedstars. So I think everyone that is here know quite a lot about Seedstars and what you guys are doing in really helping new business businesses to grow and as well leverage on these kind of partnerships and network that you have access to really bring them to another level. And just to mention for the people that don't know, Alisée, of course, is as I said, the co-founder and co-CEO of the Swiss investment holding Seedstars. However, she is also an amazing woman that has been nominated as a social entrepreneur Forbes 30 Under 30, Innovation Fellow of Wired UK, Europe's most influential women in the startups and venture capital space, and one of the 29 powerful women by Refinery 29. And I think this is a great signal for the ladies out there. So, Alisée, which tech innovations would play a major role in helping to fast track the SDG goals? Do you have any examples that you can bring? Because of course, the kind of scenery and the things that you are seeing from Seedstars perspective, do you have any success stories that you would like to share with us today?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think still in some parts of the world, there is this skewed kind of view that the future of tech is deep tech. And so that's how we're going to get to the SDGs. And even though there's absolutely a lot of sense to go and push the limits through different sectors and innovations, in many of the markets where we operate in Africa, Latin America, South Asia, the future of tech is going to be still a lot in low tech. So it's more kind of the business model innovation and how we ensure that we can really reach the last mile, the last village, and give them the basic needs, which today the fundamental right is to be able to have access to internet, access to the primary goods, access to knowledge. And so that's been where we've seen the most powerful innovations when it comes to scaling impact. And that goes from how you see healthcare, from what seems basic tech-enabled marketplaces to connect pharmaceutical companies with local clinics and go directly to the consumer. But that actually has a huge impact on the fact that in many markets, most of the drugs are substandard or fake. So that has a huge impact on their capability. It's about figuring out how do you build the right micro insurtech that can be accessible through a mobile phone and credited through their airtime or more and more crypto and other solutions, so that they can start with the basic health coverage, start having more dignified lives and accessing some of the most basic healthcare. And again, and you see that in education, you see it in the financial services. We've met one unbelievable women founders in the Middle East that are really building a credit solution just for women, because there's so much of providing financial services to women, which goes with the education and providing them the financial acumen so that they can better manage their finances and understand their working capital and potential opportunities. To a great, I recently did a podcast with one of our investees. So we also invest in these startups in Egypt, Orcas, which is really trying to connect tutors, young university graduates with younger children on different classes. And you can imagine with the pandemic, all these types of solutions have had in some ways the advantage of getting more traction and proving the case that you could get these services virtually and they could be meaningful. Same with mental health and other forms of services that we've seen on the market that have scaled in the recent years. So the list can go on.
Yeah.
I have to stop.
No, sure. And thank you so much, Alisée, really to make us understand how interconnected is the SDG world with so many, of course, relevant issues that, like as a FT, we are reporting on and creating content. But I think you are really in the making and in the process of like seeing how these things can impact pragmatically the lives of like local communities. And I think this is really the beauty of this project, that is ImpactAim is directed to really see the things growing and developing. And of course, as you were mentioning, technology has a huge role there. And
Yes.
Paul, thank you so much again for joining us. Paul Ark is the partner and head of ESG at Gobi Partners, one of the first VC firms with a regional presence across China, Hong Kong, and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, with over $1.2 billion in assets under management. Gobi was founded in 2002, has raised 13 funds to date, invested in over 270 startups, and has grown to 11 offices across Asia. As head of ESG, Paul reports to and sits on Gobi's ESG committee, helping to chart the fund's impact, sustainability, and ESG strategy, and execute initiatives with their ESG task force in line with the strategy. Paul is an expert in finance, strategy, technology, and business development, with over 25 years of experience on the ground management and deal experience across Asia, with tenures in Silicon Valley and on Wall Street. Active venture capitalist and angel investor. I think this is going to be a very interesting speaker for many startups out there. Paul, we would love to hear from you in terms of how to make VC investments. So from your perspective, how to make all these VC investments more impact oriented? What the startups should do to attract funding from VCs when they are focusing, of course, on SDG? Over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Virginia. So yeah, those are great questions. They sort of tackle the issue from different angles. One, standard VC investments and can they be made more impactful? And then the other one is how those on the entrepreneurial side can attract different types of venture capital. So to answer your first question on how to make venture capital investments more impact oriented, I think the challenge is, I think for any startup, operating a startup and scaling a startup is a challenging task from a financial and operational perspective. And then impact entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs have the additional burden of demonstrating some sort of impact on top of financial and operational performance. And that's a challenging task, because I think, in the impact space, I think it's quite easy for impact entrepreneurs to throw around the term impact, but it's a lot more difficult to kind of meet kind of the high standard that would attract investment capital, particularly from those that are impact oriented. So, I always tell social enterprises and impact entrepreneurs that, I think it's important that they demonstrate 4 key things around impact. And I think for VCs that are looking to get more impact oriented, they need to be looking for 4 things. One is that the impact is intentional. So I do meet a lot of startups that, feel that their impact simply because they're creating employment opportunities, which frankly, all startups do. But, I think there's this tendency to say that your impact simply because you're doing something impactful without meaning to do so. And so, intentionality is quite important. And a reflection of that intentionality is that impact needs to be measurable. So, if I talk to a startup and they say that they're impact oriented and they can't tell me how, they can't give me a metric that they can manage, I find that that's where you start getting into, the territory of greenwashing that Marcos mentioned. I think that the third is that impact needs to be attributable. So you want to make sure that, any impact that is created can be attributed to the activities of the startup. So, obviously, if you're an impact entrepreneur operating in a bull market, employment's going to go up, with or without you. And so if you are in the job of, creating economic opportunity, then, you want to be able to demonstrate what you're doing above and beyond, what the market or macro factors are doing. And then lastly, I think that impact needs to be sustainable in the sense that it can't be a one-off activity. It needs to be a type of activity that you can repeat and grow and scale year after year. So, and I think if you look at it from that metric, almost any startup could be impact oriented. Even your traditional e-commerce and fintech, ed tech, health tech, as long as you have that sort of intentionality and you're looking for that metric, and it's attributable and sustainable. So I think that answers that first question. In terms of your second question on what impact startups should do to attract funding, I think the challenge for many impact startups is that they are they're hunting for capital from a wide variety of different types of investors. Obviously the impact investors that are specifically looking for those types of startups are an obvious candidate, but as many of us who are sort of trying to pay attention to where the SDGs are, the amount of the funding gap to finance the SDGs falls far short from where we are today. And the upshot of that is that we can't rely purely on impact finance to fund the SDGs, that we do need to bring in a lot of private capital, really from the equity markets at large. And so for an impact startup to be able to make them more appealing to a broader audience of investors, first and foremost, they're ultimately going to have to demonstrate financial and operating performance. So whether you're a quote unquote non-impact startup or you're an impact startup, most traditional VCs are going to want to see an ability to scale and ultimately some sort of pathway to profitability. So whether you're an e-commerce site or you're a rural education program, you need to be able to show some ability to provide a risk-adjusted return to your investors. And then to take that step forward, it's being able to sort of connect, that financial and operating performance to impact. So not just having, your standard operating performance metrics and your impact metrics, but be able to show a bridge or a connection where doing that impact leads to some sort of financial creation opportunity. And so whether it's adopting, a theory of change, or whether it's being able to demonstrate how the startup's activities map to a specific set of SDGs, it's going to be important to be able to articulate that connection.
Thank you, Paul. I took so many notes. Thank you. I really appreciated that you have been walking us through even some, rethinking about your company, rethinking about your mission, and your, especially for the next session coming in 2 minutes. I think it's going to be quite meaningful, maybe for the pitches, for the 15 startups pitching, really to underline the kind of impact trackability that you were mentioning. So what we've been discussing today, thanks to these amazing 3 speakers, Marcos, Alisée, and Paul, is really going through of course some keywords. So from greenwashing, the kind of government connections and the policy making part, Alisée has been giving us a bit of an overview of what is the interconnectivity and interconnectability within the SDG goals and the tech influence. And of course, a few 4 points quite important in terms of like things for impact that Paul has been giving us. Impact is intentional, measurable, attributable, and sustainable. And as well, I think for this is quite key as well, not just for impact entrepreneurs, but any entrepreneurs out there. I want to thank you, Marcos. I want to thank you, Alisée and Paul, for your amazing contributions today. Any question, of course, feel free to put them in the Q&A box here for us. That would be great, and we can reply later throughout the panel session. Over to you, Archie. I can't wait actually to listen to the panels. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ruby, for joining us. Very much stage for now. So it'll be just my face you're looking at once more. So yeah, thank you so much. It's great to hear a bit of information from UNDP, some insights from Seedstars, and then even to get sort of the investor scope, the investor lens as well. So moving on, what we have next is we're going to have some kind of some talks, some speakers who are going to talk to us about the program, which so many of the startups here today have gone through. We'll hear a bit more of an in-depth introduction into UNDP, and we'll hear from Seedstars again as well as AV Forum. So before we jump into those, I just want to introduce the speakers that we have. So first up, to talk about UNDP, I wanted to introduce to you Artak. Artak is the global lead at UNDP Impact Venture Accelerators and the senior advisor, and he'll be speaking today to us about the UNDP. And then after that, I will introduce the next speaker after this. But Artak, I'd love to give you the floor. Please take it away.
Thanks, Archie. Hello, and really glad to have such a gathering today. This is one of the series of events that we have around our Impact Venture Accelerators. But before talking about that, I just want to give some sort of a brief on what is UNDP and what we do and why we came to this idea of working with Impact Venture Accelerator. So UNDP is actually the largest development agency, largest UN development agency in the world. So we have over 20,000 people working in our offices and representations in 170 countries and territories. And we are the major sort of keeper and the structure which looks after the 2030 agenda or the sustainable development goals, the goals that all the governments, all the countries of the world have agreed and aligned with. So just in a glance, for last 2 years, we have 31 million people benefiting from our projects. 4 million people living and recovering from crisis and getting a job and being employed. Our projects resulted in 256 million tons of carbon emission reduction. And again, over $6 billion leveraged from public and private sources to contribute towards moving over 110 countries to move towards sustainable energy. We have sort of a very significant activities related to women empowerment and leadership, and we have special programs implemented in 73 countries. So it's really large operations. What we also try to do, we have several solutions, several sort of scopes of our work, and one of the major areas is to work with the private sector, trying to engage them in development activities. This is actually manifestation of SDG number 17, which quite explicitly recognizes the role of partnerships and role of private sector in achieving sustainable development goals, that global vision there that we try to target. So we're working with this concept of social enterprises, impact ventures, and understood that we need to actually scale it up, because this area, which is called impact investment, seems to be very sort of limited and contained in a very sort of narrow area. And that was the point when we went to the mainstream investors, mainstream financial sector, and tried to engage them in targeting the impact. And the feedback that we got was, listen, we can invest and we want to invest in impact ventures, but we don't have the pipeline. And pipeline seems to be the major issue as of now, even when we speak. And that was a time when we decided to come up with UNDP Impact Venture Accelerators as a facility to actually generate the investable pipeline of investable projects, which could be presented to both impact investors and mainstream investors, so that we can invest their money and generate both profits but also the impact. So the whole idea behind Impact Venture Accelerators is a combination of business acceleration program and a robust effort on SDG impact alignment, scaling, measurement, and management. So we combine two major principles: business acceleration and what we call an impact acceleration. Overall strategic perspective here is, as in many accelerators, it's scaling up technology, scaling up business models. But in our case, the main distinguishing factor is also scaling up the impact part. And again, the Impact Venture Accelerators are there to work with those ventures which provide systemic and transformative solutions to SDG challenges. So again, a typical case where also venture capital works, where the business accelerator works, but again, we try to bring it and adapt it, elevate the impact component of the ventures. So far we have created two major models of impact accelerators. One is to work mainly with startups, early growth and growth stage, Series A stage ventures. We do have also a special model of accelerator, which is there to work with corporates, established companies. So far, we worked with over 350 impact ventures, not counting those 46 which have been through this acceleration program from 47 countries. And again, the impact venture accelerators are sort of theme agnostic. So we have cohorts which are specialized with ventures specialized in climate, in gender, in education, health tech, government technologies. We have also cohorts which combine those several themes, and the companies are sort of cross-pollinating while going through the accelerator programs. We do have country-specific accelerators, so we have implemented those in over 20 different countries, and we have also regional, cross-regional, global accelerators, again, specialized on this or that theme, as this PreAccelerator. And usually we work with partners, both sponsoring partners, but also implementation partner, as this time we are partnering with Seedstars and Financial Times Talent to empower, to implement this acceleration program. We've achieved quite notable results. Usually we have our ventures quite successful in terms of scaling, attracting investments, getting the media exposure, and again, that happens both with country-specific accelerators as well as the global ones. And again, I want to welcome you at this event, and want to pass the floor to my colleague Anurag from Seedstar, and let's keep it short and start the demo day. Hold on.
So thank you so much, Artak. So just a reminder, if you have any questions for any of the people who are speaking, please feel free to jump them in the Q&A box. If not, I am very excited to introduce Anurag Manu, who I work very closely with on a day-to-day basis. He is the regional director for Seedstars Asia Pacific, as well as the VP for Global Partnerships and Business Development. And he's going to tell you a little bit more about Seedstars, what we do and why we do. So Anu, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Archie. Thank you, Artak. Hello, everyone. Good to be back here. I think we met at the launch of the program. And those who are new, all the investors, those who have joined, welcome to the demo day. Yeah, so let me actually give a quick overview of Seedstars. I'll share my screen, I think, to make it easier. So if you could see my screen. So at Seedstars, it's a Swiss investment holding. We work globally in primarily the global south in emerging markets to impact people's lives through technology and entrepreneurship. Our main goal is, if you look at it, is to how do we drive economic development activity in these emerging markets by either nurturing and incubating talent, get them ready for the future of work, accelerate these startups and the ventures they are building, driving sustainable development in these markets, and invest into the high growth companies and scale their impact in emerging markets. So that's pretty much, what Seedstars does, from talent development to accelerating ventures through mentorship and capacity building, and investing into, some of these high growth companies from emerging markets. So as I mentioned, the capital arm of Seedstars is the main investor into the company, and the community arm of Seedstars focuses on working in partnership with governments, various development agencies, DFIs, corporates, and private donors on the capacity building to develop emerging market ecosystems and create more jobs locally. And one of these programs, as you see here, has been a capacity building program that we have run together with UNDP, ImpactAim, and Financial Times Talent. We have a global footprint around the world, as you can see in the Global South, a huge community of 250,000 members covering 95 ecosystems worldwide, with a strong team that is distributed around the world, and a huge set of investors and mentor community that has been supporting the Seedstars programs worldwide and working closely with all the startup ventures that are part of our portfolio. A variety of programs that we run across different stages, from idea stage till Series A, helping companies expand into new markets. So from very early stage, hackathons, to incubation programs, to pre-acceleration activities, to acceleration, growth, and expansion program. Having our own funds that invest, international fund, regional funds that invest into startups from either certain regions or thematic areas that will come out. So we do a lot of customized work with different, ODAs, development agencies, and development finance institutions, various UN bodies like UNDP, UNEP, World Bank, and ADBs. As you could see, some of the partners that we have worked in include various foundations, various corporates, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation here, Google, ITC, UNDP. So just to name a few of them here. So yeah, pretty much everyone who has a similar goal, similar mission to help drive economic development activity, we work with them very closely. Some of the programs that we've previously run from UN Women, we get into very niche set of programs to, very broad programs to, at the same time, dealing with migration challenges to agriculture related challenges, healthcare, climate tech. And as you are seeing, all the 40+ startups that are part of this, pre-acceleration program also comes from various thematic areas. So this is the kind of work we especially work with our partners led. Yeah, and some of the investment portfolio of Seedstars, as you can see, we have made around 100+ investments in 35 countries across 4 continents and emerging markets. And that's our investment thesis, investing into these, emerging markets. As you can see, some of the thematic areas that we have looked at, from fintech to health tech, transportation, education, logistics, agri-tech, retail, supply chain, insurtech. So a variety of topics that really are driving the, progress in emerging markets and help creating jobs. So those are the kind of companies, high growth companies we have been investing in. Yeah, I think that's a quick snapshot of what we do, and I hope you had a great experience participating in this program and are able to take great learnings, from this 15 days of intense boot camp. And yeah, I hope and wish you all my best wishes as you pitch at this demo day. And I hope the investors, those who are participating here, will connect with the startups after the pitches. So good luck, everyone. And thanks to Archie. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Anurag. Excellent. Wonderful. So I'd love to have one last person to speak who I'd love to invite on stage at the moment. I think we are waiting for our next speaker, which is Borja Gutierrez, who is going to be talking to us today about AFI Forum. AFI Forum is the Asia Financial Institutions Forum. And I don't want to steal your spotlight, Borja, so I'll let you tell us all about it. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. And I don't want to steal the spotlight from the great entrepreneurs that are going to be pitching for us in a second. So I will keep my introduction very, very short. My name is Borja Gutierrez. I'm the co-founder of the Asia Financial Institutions Forum. And we are basically a annual gathering, now in these times, a virtual platform of connecting investors and investees for ESG investing and sort of basically supporting SDG aligned projects and companies in Asia. And we basically work with a variety of investors, from sort of development finance institutions to impact investment funds and fund managers, which are supporting, as I said, sort of projects and companies that are SDG aligned. We started with a heavy focus on microfinance, but increasingly we've been focusing on other SDG aligned projects and areas. Obviously, fintech is a big area for us, but increasingly we see that our sort of investor partners are really looking to build their pipeline. This has been mentioned in the previous sort of by some of the previous speakers that there's really a need for a pipeline. There is money out there. There are a wide variety of investors looking to support the SDGs through equity, through debt, through other types of more complex mechanisms. And our goal is to sort of bring them all together. And basically, yeah, what we've done is invited all of the Asia-focused startups to participate in our virtual event, which is taking place also right now. Yeah, basically, I think without further ado, I would love to pass it over. I'm very excited for these upcoming pitches and looking forward to hearing from our exciting entrepreneurs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Borja. We actually have one question from the audience, and I think we just have enough time. So from Joseph De Leon is, how do we join or support everywhere?
I will write and you can check with me, but I'll write our website on in the chat. And yeah, happy to receive messages from you if you'd like to join us, and you're more than welcome to, everyone here.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Borja. Right, so the moment we have all been waiting for, it is time for our wonderful startups to pitch. We have the top 15 startups, I believe, joining us today, and they've been selected to pitch. So the structure, the format for this is you will all have 4 minutes to pitch, followed by 1 minute of Q&A. And the questions we will be taking actually from the audience. So please use the Q&A box in the AirMeet tool and post your questions there. And then when the 4 minutes is up, I will come in and I would ask some of the questions from the Q&A box. So, so we have 15 startups. Please post your questions. And I think without further ado, I'd like to invite on stage the first startup. So we have OpenCBS, and we have Alexis joining us from Hong Kong to pitch. Alexis, you have 4 minutes. Whenever you're ready, feel free to start.
Yes, sure. So I'm not in Hong Kong, I'm in Manila, but it's basically pretty much the same. So I hope you can see the screen, and I will just start. So nice meeting you. So I'm Alex. I'm the co-founder and CEO of OpenCBS for Open Core Banking System. So this is our story. A few years ago, I was myself running a microfinance institution in Central Asia, where about 70% of people are unbanked. And our mission was to serve the less privileged by giving them access to basic financial services. And we were looking for a system, what we call a core banking system, to run our operations. But what we could find in the market was too expensive for us. We are a small institution, too complex, but also too restrictive. So this is how came the idea to develop systems that would be agile enough to serve customers in the way they want. So our cloud-based core banking system is built around the needs of people and takes the complexity out of banking. For instance, with OpenCBS, you could launch a new financial product in just minutes. Or you could also, to comply with regulations from the central bank or your regulator, you could also immediately set up and apply new KYC fields to the whole system. And also you get a 360-degree view of your customer. Everything like profile information, products, loan balances is accessible in one single place. But also we've realized that some institutions, they cannot change their core banking system. It's a bit like the engine of a bank, so you cannot change it unless it's really broken. So for those, we have developed some solutions that can digitize some specific key pain points. For instance, you can see here a mobile app which is used for doing customer onboarding in the field, for doing a quick loan appraisal at the client location. And thanks to it, you can just reduce the turnaround time from sometimes a few days to just a few minutes. So that's what we bring for financial institutions. For top managers, we help them bring down their costs, but also get access to real-time business intelligence. For people who are customer-facing, we help them sell more easily, and ultimately clients are also happier and better served. For the IT managers, we can serve them by providing a go live within weeks because our systems are infrastructure light, and we can also interface with third-party systems using our open APIs. But once we have developed solutions for microfinance, which is quite volume intensive, sometimes operating in difficult environments, we've realized that actually we can also, to a lesser extent, but we can also serve a little bit the fintech market, for instance, and we sign some digital lenders as clients, or also even the very lower end of the banking market, like maybe smaller banks in developing countries. So in terms of market opportunity for us, of course, it opens new opportunities, especially as you look at the transition of this industry from from on-premises to software as a service. 25% was SaaS is SaaS today. 60% of the industry will be SaaS in 2025. And in fact, some competitors are neglecting that lower end of the market where we are currently, which is microfinance and fintech. Today, we have really proven our business model because we have 15 live clients. We have impacted the lives of 400,000 entrepreneurs, generated more than $1 million of revenues. And you can see that the demand for our product is really global because we have clients mostly in financially underserved area, but pretty much everywhere in the world. We have a simple business model. We it's a B2B business model. We charge an initial fee for customization and then a yearly SaaS fee based on the volume. We have a really strong impact, first because our platform enables access to financial services, which generates economic growth, but we also deliver financial services at people's doorstep, which is very important for people who maybe are less mobile. And finally, we help institutions increase their outreach because we offer solutions which are infrastructure light and which are also very low cost. We have 15 employees in our Hong Kong and Bishkek office. We are really good because we have experience in microfinance and banking and IT, so we can translate our experience into working products. And we are now raising money, $1 million to be spent on product development, credibility expenses when we target a bit larger institutions, and also sales and marketing. Thanks a lot. Come and speak to us at our table or through the chat. Very happy to be here today.
Thank you so much, Alisée. That was absolutely bang on 4 minutes. So excellent timing. You have clearly done such a great presentation that no one needs to ask you any questions. We've got one question coming up now. So we have one question, which is, where will you be growing next?
So in terms of zones, right now we are mostly in Southeast Asia and Central Asia where we have a base. I think Africa for us is the next market. We have a few clients there, but not enough. So that's in terms of geographical areas. And in terms of financial institutions, so as I said, microfinance is our core market, but we are also looking at those fintech lenders who are especially servicing, I would say, low-income people by doing online financial services. And finally, very, very small banks in developing countries that cannot afford a very high-end, I would say, core banking system.
Wonderful, thank you. Someone else asked a similar question. Where do you operate? I think you've covered that there.
Well, I should go back to the map, but offices in Hong Kong, Qatar, and Kyrgyzstan, and pretty much clients everywhere in the world. So Africa, Southeast Asia, Europe, the Caribbean even. So we have 15 clients pretty much in different countries.
Mm-hmm. And I think we have time for one more question, which is, besides money, what do you need to succeed?
Well, I mean, resources that are not only financial, also like employees, people who are really strong, motivated, and also relays in local areas. For instance, maybe some small offices, some small partners that can help us to sell and to do pre-sales in our target markets.
Fantastic, wonderful. Thank you so much, Alisée. I'm going to invite up the next startup to pitch.
Thank you.
So
it was a pleasure.
well done today, and really good to have you up here. So up next, we have the startup Alaga Health. And to talk about this, I believe we have Dr. Dexter Galvin. Have I got the... Oh, hang on, I was moving on to... I've done the wrong introduction. So I think coming up next, we have There we go. Here we go. Perfect. So Dexter, can you hear me? Can we see you?
Yes, it's my pleasure. I hope you're having a
Fantastic.
wonderful day.
All right. So listen, the stage is yours. You have 4 minutes, and we'll have some questions afterwards. Thanks so much.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Dexter. I can't hear you, I'm afraid. Perfect.
Good day. I'm Dr. Dexter Galvan, CEO and founder of Alaga Health. As a nurse, doctor, and public servant, I can affirm that 60% of Filipinos die without ever seeing a health professional. When I was much younger, my family lost my grandmother because we couldn't easily find accessible and affordable quality home care. When I was training as a young doctor, I personally saw how some patients would wait up to 10 hours just for 10 minutes worth of medical consultation. And these things continue to exist today because of the inaccessibility of affordable quality healthcare, maldistribution of gainfully employed health workers, and low tech integration within the healthcare sector. That's why today I am proud to introduce to you the Philippines' first universal digital health marketplace and health service aggregator. We are Alaga Health. And what exactly do we do? Through the use of our integrated web systems, fully customizable admin panels, and handy mobile applications, we're able to provide you an array of health services at your convenience, no need to jump from app to app or service to service. Basically, one platform for all your health services. And what are these particular benefits? First and foremost, company NGO benefits in the form of credits, which you can then use for both virtual and in-person consultations that directly lead to in-app medicine purchasing. Or you can request for your home care or laboratory test within the platform, or even gain access to relevant information about health goods and medicines, plus more about your health condition through our e-health learning platform. And this has led us to work with over 37 institutional partners, allowing us to onboard over 500,000 pledged patient users within our platform. And this brings us closer to our target 2 million users before the end of 2022. But what makes us unique is that we are the first digital health platform with a billing system that's fully compliant with tax guidelines, allowing us to work very closely with government and at the same time allow us to provide benefits to senior citizens and patients with disabilities. And we're also the global health service partner of a global health media company that's already present in over 9 countries. They provide the content, we provide the service. And also, we have opened the floodgates for health services coming from everywhere to be featured within our platform. No particular brand to push, but every access to healthcare, particularly MSMEs and corporate entities, as well as health services from government and even NGOs and CSOs, following a B2B2C and a B2G2C business model. And although we do have a lot of competitors, as an aggregator and an integrator, we're able to hopefully work with all of them to increase our reach and improve access to healthcare even more. And our revenue stream can be sustainable. How? Through our commission per transaction, our advertisement and promotions, and our special patient access program, which can serve as an alternative to HMOs, allowing us to cut out-of-pocket costs by almost half. And we're currently on track towards hitting our target following our vision for growth and our growth for the future. And this has been our impact in quarter 4 of 2021. And hopefully, through our partnership with you, we can grow and scale so that this can be our hit targets by the end of 2022. And all we ask is that you believe in our team composed of government officials, international designers, international software developers, members of the academic and health professionals with multiple years of experience, backed by a very dedicated team. And these have been our accolades in 2021 alone, and I'm excited about what else we can do together in 2022. And hopefully we can tell more people about Alisée Health as we continue to grow and scale. So together, let us believe and invest in Alisée Health so that we can provide healthcare anytime, anywhere, in every way. Because with Alisée Health, healthcare can be better together. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, wonderful, Dexter. So if anyone has any questions for Dexter, please feel free to put them in the chat box or the Q&A box. But if not, Dexter, wonderful, really cool to see the work you've been putting into this. This is fantastic. I'm not seeing any questions, so I would love to invite up our next startup to pitch. So Dexter, if you could leave the stage, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. So up next, we have the startup Jaramba, and I'd love to invite Anura to come on stage and to pitch. All right, let's just see. Do we have Anugrah joining now? Okay, just whilst we wait for that, I think Anugrah is having some technical difficulties. So please, I'm going to move on to the next one, and we will come back. So I'd love to invite to stage the startup Wika Media, and here we have Roland Benson, who I believe is dialing in from Singapore. Roland, the floor and the stage is all yours.
Okay. I'm the fourth startup. May the fourth be with you. Only 2% of children born deaf have access to formal education. Not surprisingly, when they grow up, only 20% in developing countries will get jobs. Hi, I'm Roland, co-founder of Wika Media. Wika lets people with hearing and/or visual disabilities access educational videos and entertainment too. Here's a brief demo. Our app detects what the viewer is watching, then lets the user choose sign language or captions for the deaf or hard of hearing, or audio description for the blind or visually impaired. We also developed a set-top box for overlaying captions on uncaptioned videos, augmented reality smart glass, and head-mounted display, perfect for private viewing at home, in cinemas, or conferences. Last but not the least, we developed a platform that allows anyone to upload their own sign language videos, captions, or audio description. This is our social innovation, empowering people to enable others. People as scalable solutions. So far, a Philippine telco paid us to deaf-enable videos in a school for the deaf with hundreds of students. Accenture and a university also sponsored the same, but for a larger nationwide scale. We also collaborated with MediaCorp, Singapore's largest media company, to deaf-enable some of their videos, mostly educational, but also some in entertainment. Media companies, brands, and schools have paid us to make content accessible to their customers, hence B2B2C. We've sold enabling gadgets and produced content for them. But the revenue, the recurring revenue and most scalable revenue stream is access or content delivery, similar to Spotify or Netflix, which is why, in addition to B2B2C, we plan to launch a B2C access service. And based on our direct trials with hundreds of deaf users, most are willing to pay for our accessibility service, either monthly subscription or pay-per-use. With 700 plus million people in the world with hearing and or visual disabilities, this is a blue ocean opportunity with a largely underserved, if not outright neglected market. Our 2025 target of 20 million active users is reasonable, we think, considering that India alone has 20 million who are profoundly deaf. And we are targeting that at least half of them, or 10 million, use it for education and skills development, which can lead to decent work and economic growth, improved well-being, and ultimately systemic reduction in inequalities. Our team is fairly well balanced. I myself have half a dozen granted patents. My co-founders are both award-winning media creatives. Vic and Anna produce dub tracks and subtitles for the likes of Disney, Netflix, and others. Jed, TJ, and I have built scalable, mission-critical platforms. And 3 in our team communicate in sign language, 2 because of deaf relatives. It's a good mix, but it takes a village, which is why we're looking for strategic partners and investors to help us scale. Together, we can break down barriers so that people with disabilities can experience what we experience. Go to school, go to the movies, contribute to society, and just be included, not left out. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Roland. A little fun fact about me. I myself am deaf. I wear hearing aids in both ears, so it's really good to see some representation here tackling this itself. So thank you for that. We haven't got any questions. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask? If so, now is your opportunity to ask Roland. If not, then perhaps I can chip in with a question, which is where do you said you've been testing this on deaf users itself. Where do you find the users?
We work with communities. Well, of course, with there's so many. You work with media companies. They have media audiences. They have deaf audiences, right? You work with communities like in Singapore or Philippines, deaf schools, media companies. There's always a deaf user, a deaf audience. Whether you're e-commerce or you're an educator, you will always have. I heard that 15% of the world suffer from disabilities. Of course, the deaf population is probably less than. Deaf and hard of hearing is probably in the 5 to 10%, including the people with the visual and blind and visually impaired. So close to 1 billion.
Thank you. Fantastic. Well, listen, we have no further questions, so I would love to move on to the next startup. Well done on the pitch. Really good to see it. But up next, I think we're going to go back to our previous. Let me just check to see which team we'll be moving on to now. So next up, we're going to have actually the team Anaxi Digital Runners. So I'd love to invite Arti Agarwal onto the stage. And I'd love to hear your pitch. Arti, the stage is all yours. Good luck. Can't wait to see it.
Hi, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, we can hear you and see you. And your slides. Excellent.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Aarti. I represent Anaxi Digital Runners. We are based out of India. We are building India's largest last mile network to help businesses and social organizations reach remotest parts of India. India is the second largest population in the world, but unfortunately, it is not the second largest market. More than 50% of India's population lives in smaller towns and villages, which is 700 million people. Products, brands, and services do not reach to these people primarily for 2 reasons. One, there is not enough data to know what are the needs of the people there, what are their aspirations, what is their buying propensity, and what are the volumes. And even if the volumes are there, they are hugely scattered. So, what do you do when you have scattered volume? You need a distributed network to address it. This is precisely what we are doing at Anaxi Digital Runners. We are creating tech-enabled, centrally managed, shared, on-demand feet on street to help businesses scale from the top 50 cities of India to next 500 cities of India. We want to become the de facto partner for any business willing to grow and scale in India. How do we do it? We do it via our digital runners. So digital runner is rural youth, tech savvy, mobile friendly, we onboard them onto our platform, train them, upskill them, and give them tasks that can be delivered using a mobile phone, digital tasks. What do I mean when I say digital tasks? The tasks include market surveys, data collection, merchant acquisition, customer onboarding, surveys, order taking, etc. Our aim is to create 250,000 digital runners spread across 600,000 villages of India. Whenever a task comes to us, it is assigned to an app digital runner via our digital runner app. The digital runner delivers the task and the results are shared with our customers via central dashboards which are easy to comprehend. Currently, we have 40,000 runners spread across 26 states of India, which is almost 60% of Indian geography. Directly, indirectly, we have served over 1,000 clients. As an impact value chain, the activity that we do is data collection and market outreach via our digital runners. In this process, we train and upskill our runners, empower and give them better earning opportunities leading to their socio-economic growth. Recently, we were able to do a very nice activity where we were able to solve vaccine hesitancy in rural India. We were able to successfully vaccinate over 1.8 million rural citizens and counsel over 2.6 million people of India via our digital runners. This we got a lot of media coverage for the same. Facebook created a documentary on us on how we handled vaccine hesitancy in rural India. The primary SDG that we target is decent work and economic growth. We aim to increase the earning of our digital runners by 30%. While doing Project Swaraksha, we realized that our runners could also give access to last mile health access to the people in villages of India. And eventually, we want to reduce geography as a barrier for consumers and customers to meet. We want to lead India's economic inclusive growth with the help of our digital runners. The team consists of three of us, me, Govin, and Nilesh. We are a fairly balanced team. Govin takes care of sales and business development. I run the operation. Nilesh has over 20 years of experience in technology development. Our work has been recognized. We have won a lot of national and international awards. Recently, we were awarded the National Startup Award by the Prime Minister of India. These are some of the clients whom we have served. These are some of the social organizations who helped us do the rural vaccination project that I mentioned. We are currently looking to raise a pre-series A round of $8 million, which will primarily go into technology development, more training and upskilling of our current runners. And yeah, that's it. I'm open to questions.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Arti. We do have a question for you, which is, what is your next big target and how hard will it be for you to scale there, do you think?
Can you just repeat? I missed the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course. So what is your next big target and how hard will it be for you to scale there?
So currently our focus is, as geography, our focus is India because India is huge. Scaling is not a problem for us because we already have 40,000 runners working with us onboarded onto our platform. Our next target is upskilling these runners to more detailed and market-oriented tasks. So we would want to build their skills to be able to take up different varieties of jobs. So that is the next aim.
Okay, brilliant. Wonderful. That is the only question we have. So thank you so much, Arti, and well done on the pitch. Really, really great.
Thank you.
So next up, we're actually going to jump back to one of our previous people who didn't quite manage to get the opportunity to speak. So what I will do is we have a pre-recorded pitch, and I would love to play that. And just let me know. I think you can see my screen. Yeah, perfect. So up now, we are going to hear from Jaramba. This is Anugrah, and he is going to be pitching.
Yeah, Jaramba. We are trying to tackle the most crucial issue of mobility in developing countries, starting from Indonesia. Let's say, as an Indonesian, you want to move from A to B. What are the possible options you have? Most of you probably will pick a private vehicle to the point that 1 out of 2 Indonesians own a private vehicle. Public transport probably will be your last option. Although providing the cheapest solution, people still won't use it because of its inconvenience and uncertainty. We integrate public transport into a single platform, started with public microbus called Angkot and Metrobus integration. We are transport mode agnostic. So, as long as it is public transport, then it can be integrated into our platform. To help you experience a better transport, we provide certainty by showing real-time fleet position. And we generate integrated trip information to help you quickly decide which route to take. And you can also pay cashless with your favorite e-wallet. And after you have your e-ticket, you can redeem it by scanning the QR sticker in the bus that you ride in. Since day one, we will get revenue from 8% of every ticket that is sold through our platform. And after reaching critical mass, we will get extra revenue from the gathered mobility data. In the beginning, we will be acquiring students as our users. And then, when we have integrated intercity transport, we will start acquiring tourists. Right after we master urban transport, we will start acquiring regular commuters as our daily users. With Gojek and Grab only covering 7% of the urban trips, we plan to serve the underserved among the 93% of the untapped market. We were established in August 2021. Then last October, we held our beta testing campaign where in 2 weeks, we test and validate the product. It leads to product refinement. So on 7 January, we finally go live in Bandung City, Indonesia, attended by the governor of West Java province. And after launch for several days, this is what we get so far. 3 webinars were held, endorsement from Department of Transport, partner with 2 public transport operators, and also we have 60 road searches that leads to 79 orders being made, with 61 of them already redeemed organically. We will acquire transport operators one by one to form an extensive network and then replicate to other metropolitan areas in Indonesia. We start this with MOU with West Java province, and now we are currently fundraising 1 million to expand to 24 cities within 18 months. At first, we will deploy 1 city per month in West Java province, then expand to other metropolitan areas on Java Island. We install GPS tracker in transport fleet so we can get precise data since day one. Parallel with that, we will research route tracking so we can scale better later on. At the end of seed stage, we will get 13,000 daily transactions with 7 million total GPV. We graduated from the same college, ITB, and have collaborated on some projects before, then decided to build Jaramba to connect the unconnected. Let's make responsible mobility with us. Thank you.
Perfect. Wonderful. Unfortunately, we are having some technical difficulties with Anugrah, so I would like to invite you to network with him afterwards, if you can, at the table. If not, we're going to move on to Surplus Indonesia. And from Surplus, we have Agung. Agung, I'd love to give you this floor. You are welcome to speak up.
Yep.
All yours.
So yeah, thank you, Arki. So hello everyone, my name is Agung Saputra. I'm the CEO and founder of Surplus. So we are a social enterprise that focuses on B2C, and we are trying to tackle food waste and food loss issues in Indonesia. Our tagline is Save Food, Save Budget, and Save Planet because it represents the benefit either for the merchants or to the customers. And this is the huge problem that we want to solve. Around 23 to 48 million tons food is wasted every year in Indonesia. It's equal to financial loss around 39 billion US dollars. That's why Indonesia is devoted as the second largest food waster in the world. So how if we can create a win-win solution ecosystem to solve this problem? So that's why we come up with this idea, Surplus. So Surplus is a marketplace for MSMEs, hotels, and farms to sell their overstock and imperfect products at the window time to the customer with half price. So it's a really win-win solution because for the customers, they can eat great food while saving 50% and contribute to the environments. And for the merchants, they can reach new customer, earn extra income, reduce disposal costs, and become a green restaurant at the same time. And for the market size, it's really huge because for the total addressable market is around 940 billion US dollar for the financial loss of food waste and loss in the world per year. And for the competition map, because we are the pioneer in Indonesia, so we have created a high barrier to entry for overseas competitor by providing delivery services and stock management feature, and we have been built a community, so we have strong value amongst the society. And for the business models, we tax around 12 to 22% margin from merchant revenue, and we tax 0.14 US dollar as platform fee from customer per transaction. And yeah, we just launched the app for 1 year. So in 2021 traction, we grew organically without marketing team. So we got 25K apps download organically, and we got 428% GTV growth year on year with 836% revenue growth year on year. And for our customer base, we have been operating in 8 cities in Indonesia, and our users are 70% women, and our target population are low middle income and vulnerable community. And for the partnership, we have been partnership with 1,000 merchants across 8 cities in Indonesia. And for the impacts, we have been rescue around 1.5 ton meals, and we have been prevented potential 20K US dollar in losses for 1,000 business owner as our beneficiaries, and we have been avoided potential 30 tons of CO2 from the landfill as well. And for the investments, we are targeting $1 million US dollar for the next 18 months in order to create massive marketing, and we are gonna do the B2B business model. So we need rent a warehouse, and we will do own a delivery fleet and team expansion for 35% of the fund. And the last but not yes, this is our core team that I have more than 3 years experience as environmental consultants. My CEO has more than 7 years experience in project management. My CTO has more than 6 years experience in IT background, and we have 2 business advisor that has more than 10 years experience in industry. That this is a perfect team to combat food waste and food loss in Indonesia. So yeah, that's from me. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Abu. Excellently done. Well done. So we have no questions for you from the audience. So we will move on to the next team. So I'd love to invite on stage. We invite the startup One Health, and we have to pitch. We have Adiola joining us from, I believe, in Nigeria. So Adiola, let me know if you're there. You are mute at the moment.
Yes, I am about to share my screen.
Excellent.
Okay, awesome. Hello,
Fantastic.
everyone. Great.
All yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Adiola Ali, and this is One Health. First, I'd like you to meet Ms. Badmus. So Ms. Badmus gets a headache.
We can't see your slides, by the way, just to let you know. If you have any slides. No.
Okay, let me check again. Can you see it? It says it's loading. Yeah?
There we go, coming up. Yeah. Perfect.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, second time. Hello, everyone. I'm Adiola Ali, and this is One Health. First, I'd like you to meet Ms. Badmus. So Ms. Badmus gets a headache, which got worse. So she went to Google and found a bunch of stuff on Google that told her it was malaria. So she went to the pharmacy and met with the pharmacy technician who gave her malaria drugs without even questioning her. Obviously, that didn't work. Luckily for her, the second time around, she met with the pharmacist who referred her to a doctor. But it took her about 3 months to see one, and after 2 to 3 visits to see a specialist, who prescribed her a bunch of medications which she really didn't know how to take properly. Sometimes she forgot, sometimes they were out of stock, so she switched them. She just stopped taking them altogether. It was a pain. Sadly, she died from she died from uncontrolled hypertension and heart failure due to not managing the medications properly. The journey of a chronic patient in Nigeria is so time-consuming with multiple barriers to accessing quality care. So what is the problem? According to WHO, about 50% of deaths in Africa will be as a result of unmanaged chronic disease like asthma, hypertension, and diabetes by 2026. And with only 23% of essential medicines readily available, we have just one pharmacist for 50,000 people and a few doctors, this is a major problem. At One Health, your digital healthcare platform, we're empowering every African to take charge of their healthcare by providing them access to life-saving medications, healthcare information, and healthcare providers. So who are our beneficiaries? In this case, they are the end users and Nigerians who need access to medicines and other healthcare solutions, but also we support pharmacies that need medicines for their patients and telemedicine healthcare providers that need last mile delivery of medicines to their patients. With about 60% of internet penetration, where we have 76 million online shoppers and personal care being the fastest growing sector, the projection for 2026 is looking at about 5% for us, our market size, which is about 15 million USD. And this is just for Nigeria as a go-to-market strategy. So how do we do this? So we do this by providing an online pharmacy where patients can have their prescriptions dispensed by uploading onto the platform. They can order for some lab tests or request to speak to a doctor for minor ailments. But we also support healthcare providers such as HMOs in dispensing medications to their patients. And last, we are launching, which is in beta, our marketplace.
Adiola, sorry to interrupt, but your pictures disappeared from the screen about 30 seconds ago.
Oh gosh. Okay. I
That's
have
all
no. Should I get the videos?
No worries. We'll let you put them back up and continue as you were doing a great job.
Yeah, but I don't know how it just stopped. Like I'm not sure what's happening today. Can you see it?
Not yet. We're back up. There we go. All right, continue smashing it like you were before.
Okay, so you can you see what can you see right now? You can see my business.
We can see healthcare platform, size of the market, trusted healthcare partner.
Size of markets. Okay. All right.
Perfect,
So our beneficiaries are the end users, in this case Nigerians who need medicines and other healthcare solutions. But we're also supporting pharmacists that need medicines for their patients. And obviously with the emergence of COVID-19, a lot of telemedicine healthcare providers are needing us for last mile delivery of medicines to their patients. And with the growing internet penetration, which is projected for 2026, about 70 million online shoppers, and personal care is growing about 20% year on year. One Health is looking at the market size of about 5% with the intersection of both pharmaceuticals and the e-commerce market, which is about 50 million USD as our go-to-market strategy. So we do this by providing an online pharmacy where patients can get their medicines dispensed. They can order for their lab tests or speak to a doctor for minor ailments. But also we're supporting healthcare providers such as HMOs and doctors in dispensing their medications to their patients. And last, we're introducing in beta our pharma marketplace, Pill Finder. Pill Finder connects pharmacies with suppliers, wholesalers, and manufacturers, but also connects pharmacies with each other so that they're able to transfer short-dated items to other pharmacies that might need them before they expire. So we are saving lives one health at a time. Since we fully launched our platform in 2020, we've had over 60,000 people visit us every month and growing for website information or product recommendation. We're delivering over 1,300 prescriptions every month. We have over 2,000 SKUs available for all our patients and our pharmacies. We're rated about 4.5 stars on average on how patients feel when we serve them. They're happier, they're healthier, and 9 out of 10 said they will recommend us to their family and friends. Unlike our competitors, One Health has taken a holistic approach in building not just any healthcare platform, but one that is supporting both the patient and providers alike, with product recommendations, leveraging AI, healthcare calculators, and also last mile delivery of care, creating ways for optimal therapeutic management and waste reduction. And that's not all. Now, with the data that we're gathering, we're looking at managing our patients' care end to end. So from personalized dashboards to trackers to medication reminders, we're ensuring for good health and well-being for long-term survival. And this is to prevent untimely deaths like that of Ms. Badmus. So now we're looking to raise our seed round between 1 to 1.5. And this is to support really building out the hard stuff, the distribution hubs, the robust logistics infrastructure, and to improve our overall tech capacity to serve 1 million more lives. The team comprises of myself, I'm Adiola Ali. I'm the co-founder and CEO. I'm a pharmacist with an MBA, over 15 years of pharma experience in community pharmacy practice. And with the help of my team, of course, you can see the breakdown on the screen, advisors and lots of strategic partners. We cannot do this without a robust ecosystem of partners and accelerators and just advisors supporting us through it all. So join us in empowering Africans to take charge of their health and well-being for long-term survival. Thank you.
Listen, thank you so much, Adiola. Well done. Wonderful. Again, we have new questions here, so we'd love to invite up our next startup. But Adiola, thank you so much, and really, really great to hear from you. Great job. So up next, we are going to invite onto stage the startup Alta 5. And Alta 5 is going to be presented or pitched by Miguel Solana. And Miguel, I'd love to see, are you there? Let me see if we can see. We can see your slides. Fantastic. Can't hear you yet, but whenever you're ready. Perfecto. Okay, all yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So green energy transition financing is the largest investment opportunity in the coming decade. A strong political commitment, the institutional capital that will be required to fund this transition, and the attractive combination of yield and reputation of this asset class will make for a change in how investors approach investment overall. However, as of today, this is a highly inefficient market. On the green project developer side, they still lack flexible financial solutions. Transaction costs are very high, and there is no capital market access, especially for small and medium-sized developers. On the institutional investor side, there is still high complexity in terms of how to access this asset class. The deal flow is very uncertain because there is no standardized processes to enter, and greenwashing is pervasive. Here is where Alta 5 is the specialized lender for the green energy transition. By combining technology and efficient financial platform, we want to transform how these two sides of the marketplace connect. On the tech side, we've built the technology to accelerate the financing of renewable energy projects. We built a digital platform that originates, screens, structures, and presents to investors all these type of investment opportunities. On the financial side, we've built in Luxembourg, which is the European Union main investment hub, a green bond issuance platform that allows us to have standardized implementation and a single investment process, facilitating investors the validation, the screening, and the whole negotiation of all these investments. We've worked with some of the leading advisors in the industry and also with the European Investment Fund. We will talk about this a bit more later. In terms of sustainability, we're fully committed. We believe that our platform has the potential to impact Goal 7 and Goal 13. And in addition, we adhere to the green bond principles in order to ensure the highest standards in the investment process. In addition, we've built what we've called the Alta 5 Green Impact Index, a highly detailed dashboard that allows us to validate pre-investment and post-investment in real time all the opportunities and assets that are acquired by the investors and monitor their performance during the life. Our business model is based on the value we create for both sides of the market. So we charge a fee during the life of the investment, and we also provide to institutional investors such as asset managers, insurance companies, pension funds, the platform under a software as a service revenue model. We've gained already significant traction. 2021 was a very important year for us. We generate around 700K revenues. We validated our product by bringing a significant number of assets and a significant number of investors on board. We signed a major partnership with the European Investment Fund, which is the major European Union financing institution, and we brought on board a strong team and advisory group. In addition, we were part of the Monetary Authority of Singapore FinTech program. Going forward, there are 3 key areas of work. We want to expand and accelerate the work on the product development side. We want to open new verticals, in particular solar rooftops, where we see a huge opportunity, and expand our investor pool in order to democratize and facilitate the access to all these investments to more institutional investors. Our team has complementary backgrounds. I come from the investment banking industry, and my partner comes from the tech and venture building. Together with our with our team of investors coming from some of the leading institutions in the sector, we have an ambitious goal, which is to create the main institutional market for sustainable investments. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Miguel. So we have no questions for you either, but brilliant job. Well done. Really cool to see the work you've been up to. So up next, I would love to invite the next startup. So we have EverCity, and to present EverCity, we have Alisée, who I believe is in Germany. Alisée, I think if you're happy to share your slides or anything, then it's all yours.
Hi everyone.
Perfect. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, here you see the works. Okay. All right, all yours.
Great. Amazing. So I'm with EverCity, sustainability measurement and investment platform based in Berlin. Climate change is a $1 trillion problem, and even more money is needed to reach the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This is why sustainable finance markets are booming, and we are pretty sure that by the end of 2030, most of the global debt will be sustainable. However, there are still problems that prevent SMEs from raising green finance. First of all, raising renewable finance is complicated. You have to structure it, adhere to standards, you have to read the report. So this is why I think that sustainable finance doing is costly. And this is because you have to hire consultants, you have consultants or additional experts to operate with it. And finally, we don't really know what impact, we don't know what is sustainable finance impact making, and sometimes there is greenwashing. And so this is why EverCity is helping to increase efficiency and transparency of their sustainable investments. By combining sustainable blockchain with monitoring tools, we automate end-to-end sustainable finance. We make it really make it transparent, really simple parts of sustainable finance life cycle, structuring, issuance, monitoring, and reporting. We have a big aim to issue $1 billion US in sustainable finance through our platform, and it makes sustainable finance really accessible and to make SMEs in developing countries really accessible. Let me explain how this works. So let's imagine how a company in this initial manager wants to whether their assets that are going to be financed or whether they're eligible for green bond financing. This is why you have to screen the assets again, taxonomy, and we automate this process. Next, they need to structure their investments and create a special document for their investments that this green bond frame, create all the work, and it's really complicated to create it without any prior market knowledge. With our platform, it's possible because we automate this document creation.
Sorry, we're just having a bit of some of the sound issues are coming from.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's a bit choppy. There's a few audio issues that we're experiencing. So just
okay, let me continue then.
Yeah.
Okay. So next there is the issuance part, and here we provide blockchain. Here we have a protocol which is all open source, and which we built a protocol with methodological support, which we built support of the UNFCCC that actually helps to issue green bond or carbon credits tend to be expensive. And finally, we provide monitoring and reporting tools. We can identify and report the particular project boundary and identify project physical and risks related to this particular project and related then automate the report project reporting because SMEs need to know the report.
Here, sorry, the sound is really not working particularly well. So we'll pause even now, and then perhaps we can we'll talk backstage about what to do. But the sound connection is really not great. I'm afraid.
Sorry, can you hear me now? The sound connection was not really good.
So let's regroup. I'll let you talk to the people back. Yeah. So up next, we'll move on to the next startup. So coming up next, we now have Sube. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Right.
To present it, we have Vivek. Audios.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you see my slides?
Yeah, we can hear you, see you, and your slides.
Okay, great. So, namaste, everyone. Namaste from India. Let me, start with asking you a question. So, did you know that according to Government of India, half of Indian youth will be unemployable in 2030? Now, and this is because of the huge skill gap. Now, to solve this problem at this scale, let's first understand the behavior of Indian youth. One, they spend a lot of time online using their smartphones to browse apps in local languages. Yes, 83% of youth is not comfortable in English. Second, they really have a short attention span and get bored easily. And third, they contribute to 60% of online shoppers in India. Now, these facts have inspired us to create our solution. Subh. It means morning in Hindi. A very simple to use app where users get free access to the largest database of short learning videos, especially curated in local languages. And what makes us really unique about a solution is the use of artificial intelligence to deliver personalized learning recommendations to each user. It's not like Khan Academy or Coursera. It's like Instagram of short learning videos, which makes learning so much more interesting and effective for our users. We are disrupting the learning industry with thousands of users joining our platform every day. We have got around 150,000 users in the last 6 months. And with an average rating of 4.5 stars, our users are loving us. We are so proud to create a positive impact with 75% of our users joining from tier 2, tier 3 cities of India and have a completion rate of around 90%. Now, 60% of these users have started earning within the 6 months of joining our platform, making a substantial increase in the number of youth having relevant job skills. Along with the positive impact, we have a profitable and scalable business model. These are the two sources of revenue. 30% of our revenue comes through ads and sponsorship, and another 70% of revenue comes from selling premium products and subscription. The short video market is growing rapidly in India, and it is estimated to have over 650 million users by the year 2025. And at the same time, the mobile learning market will be around $60 billion alone in India. We are aiming to cross 100 million users in the next 3 years. And to achieve this growth, our team has a strong competency in terms of technology and marketing. We are a total 20-member team with 2 co-founders. Both of us have been working together as entrepreneurs for the last 14 years. Jagrat is the CTO, and he started his first company while still in engineering and now has over 17 years of experience in product development and working on different technologies. My name is Vivek. I'm the CEO. I have over 15 years of professional experience in digital marketing. And as a founder of a leading digital agency, I have built teams, generated millions of revenue for our online revenue, have built online communities for some of the top Fortune 100 brands in India. Our team in startup has been recognized by Techstars who is also our existing investors. Thanks to UNDP, Seedstars, and Financial Times for recognizing our efforts and giving us this opportunity. We have also been awarded by Dell Foundation and the Governor of Punjab for being the most impactful startup of our region. We are currently raising a seed round of $1.5 million, which will help us to achieve our next milestone of 10 million users within the next 1 year. To sum up, we are on a mission to make India as a home for global workforce. And if you want to partner with us in this impactful mission, we'll be very happy to discuss this. We are available at founders@subhe.com, and I'll see you at the table after the session. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vivek. We have no questions for you from the audience. So we actually do have one question that's just popped up for Vivek. So what is your CAC and for free and paid users and lifetime value?
Okay, so our CAC for free users, that's that's really interesting for us. It's one of our strengths being in digital marketing. Our CAC for free users is less than 20 cents, and a CAC for paid user is around $20, and the lifetime value of our users is around $250.
All right, fantastic. But I hope that answers the audience's question. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to jump back to the previous startup who had some audio issues. But thank you so much, Vivek, for your pitch. Really great.
Thank you.
See you here. All right, so up next we have our previous guest, which is Alisée. Alisée, let's see if we can hear you all right before we continue. So
Hi, can you hear me now?
Hello. Yeah, we can. I'll let you share your slides. Your sound sounds better already, so that's good
Okay,
news.
so you can hear me well, and I can start my presentation. I'm keeping my video off just in case.
All right, all yours.
Okay, so my name is Alisée. I'm with EverCity, Sustainability Measurement and Investment Platform, a Techstars portfolio company based in Berlin. Climate change is $1 trillion problem, and even more money is needed to reach the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This is why sustainable debt, carbon markets are booming, and by the end of this decade, most of the global debt will be sustainable. However, sustainable finance is not really that accessible to SMEs, and it has significant growth potential. We need to solve 3 problems. First of all, sustainable finance is complicated because you have to structure it in accordance to standards, you have to monitor it, report it, so lots of additional stuff. Then you have to hire additional people to help you with that. This is why it is costly. And finally, we don't really know what is the impact of sustainable investments, and there is also a room of greenwashing. This is why EverCity platform is helping SMEs, banks, funds, and corporates increase efficiency and transparency of their sustainable investments. By combining blockchain with monitoring tools, we automate end-to-end sustainable finance journey. We make it easier, we make it cheaper, we make it more transparent to operate with sustainable finance at each of 3 main parts of sustainable finance life cycle: portfolio management, asset issuance, monitoring, and reporting. Our ultimate aim is to make sustainable finance accessible for SMEs and help to issue $1 billion worth of sustainable finance instruments by 2030. Let me show you how this works. If some company from, let's say, Indonesia wants to issue a green bond, first it needs to understand whether its assets are green enough and undergo a complicated taxonomy screening. We automate this complicated process, as well as creation of a green bond framework, which is a special document describing your green asset issuance. So without any prior knowledge, an issuer can navigate through these complicated procedures, check whether the assets are eligible for green bond financing, create a green bond framework, and be prepared for the issuance. Here, we have our major innovation, open source sustainable finance protocol based on a very low carbon Polkadot blockchain, and we have developed with logical support of UNFCCC it makes the process of issuance of green bonds and carbon credits 10 times faster and more efficient. And finally, we provide the monitoring and reporting tools. We have a special and regional map to identify particular project boundary, identify physical climate risks, and automate reporting so that SMEs can focus on their core business. There are some competitors, but we are the only platform that combine all of the stuff together, making it an Uber of sustainable finance. We graduated from Techstars. We made a launch of our platform at the UN Climate Conference in Glasgow. This year, we're onboarding banks and investors. And next year, we will focus more and more on SMEs bridging with banks that are already using the platform, solving the chicken and egg problem. We're already raising. We're in the middle of the raise, middle of $2 million, and we have a great team that makes it happen. Because myself and my co-founder has finance and consulting, and among our advisors are people who stood at the beginning of green bond and carbon credit markets. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, Alisée. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience, for coming back on again. If you'd like to, I'm going to invite up the next startup to come and pitch. Thank you so much. I think so coming up next, we have from WeGrow, we have Alvi. So Alvi, I'd love to give you the floor.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. You can see you, hear you, and your screen. You've got the Holy Trinity. All yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Mohammad Ali Rahman, the co-founder of WeGrow. So basically, WeGrow is a tech platform that facilitates farmers with access to finance and market. So basically, if you look at the challenges of smallholder farmers in a country like Bangladesh, there are majorly two core challenges, that is access to finance and access to market. Basically, farmers of a country cannot access loans from the banks. Thus, 60% of the farmers, which is around 9.9 million of them, cannot access formal financing, leading to informal lenders who charge interest rates up to 40%. On the other hand, access to market is a big challenge, leading to farmers receiving less than 25% of the final price due to the presence of numerous intermediaries. So if we consider the need gap analysis, we see that the lack of collateral, the excessive paperwork, and banks and financial institutions not being present in the remote areas are being a challenge to provide financial inclusion to these farmers. Thus, WeGrow offers a digital financing platform, its own credit scoring technology, and access to market providers to ensure greater profitability for these farmers. So let's look at how WeGrow operates and facilitates these farmers. At first, WeGrow onboards the farmers through our farmer centers, where basically we check that the farmers has 3 years of experience in the particular project they're looking financing for. Then they have to own their own shed facility, or the land has to be either their own or rented to avail the finance. Then we take alternative data from the input providers and the marketplaces at which they sell their produce or livestock. Then based on their projections, we finance only up to 50% of the total working capital. Once we consider a project is eligible, we then upload this project to our tech platform, which is our Android application and our website, where an investor can see the return, the project duration, and the location at which the project is to be conducted. Then, upon getting interested at the projected returns, he can invest either by making online transfers or account paid checks. In order to mitigate risk, we basically make association with the insurance companies and also conduct portfolio models to assist these farmers. To attain greater profitability, we partner with certain B2B agencies such as Khasfood, Parmita, and others. So basically, how does this financing process work? This is basically a visual representation of the overall financing process, where the finance flows from individual investors to us, then it's passed on to the farmers in the form of inputs. Then to provide assistance in the form of access to market, we often connect it to the B2B markets, or in case the price is suitable in the local areas, the farmer sells directly. Basically, WeGrow is a profit-sharing platform where the farmers get 40% of the net profit, financiers get 40%, WeGrow keeps the rest 20%. So basically, we analyze the farmers based on the certain data. Basically, all these are alternative data sets from the input versus marketplaces, their demographics, and weather records. So our revenue model is basically the profit share of investment and the commission received from the sales of the agri produce. So till now, we have financed more than 2,000 farmers and financed around $410,000 and already onboarded 100 plus finances in our tech platform. So in terms of the impact, we are addressing the SDGs 1 to 11 and 12 by ensuring a greater income source, improving the living standard, reducing hunger, and reducing poverty. So if you consider the total agriculture market, it's around 14,000 million USD, of which 80% is being served by the microfinance institutions. We want to tap 1% of it by 2024, serving around 120 million market. So if you consider the market competition, the farmers, the main competition is the banks. However, the requirement of collateral and the rigorous paperwork process are a major barrier. However, Wigro provides a collateral-free, paperwork-less, instant loan processing mechanism. And at the same time, for the financiers, our major challenges are savings certificate issues by the government. However, the fact that they can go paperless and see all the projects and the returns are almost twice compared to the traditional rates. So this idea is globally expandable to countries such as Tanzania, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Egypt, and other countries of Asia. So as we have already discussed, we want to reach out to a agri-financing of 120 million by 2024. In order to do that, we need to build an agri-infrastructure. We will be requiring a fund of 1.2 million USD to develop the infrastructure and technology and do the market awareness. So this is the team. We are a team with 70 plus of combined experience who have the experience of working in the microfinance, mobile fintech, leading conglomerate in this country. So we have already been recognized by the ICT Ministry of our country, and also in the global stage, we have been the semi-finalist GIST Catalyst and FTSD Challenge. So these are some of the partners and the strategic partners we have. So that's it from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Avi. Really great to see your presentation. Well done. Let's see if we have any questions at all from the audience. I think for now, I'm not seeing any. So I will jump us over to our next startup. Thank you again, Alvi, for joining us today. So up next from Bigger Health, we have Gaurav.
Yeah, hi.
Gaurav, perfect, we can hear you. Can't see you, whether that's intentional or not, so I'll let you.
So is it my screen visible?
Yeah, I can see your slides. Yeah.
Okay. So please confirm slides are moving, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me start. So hi everyone. This is Gaurav. I'm co-founder and CEO at Bigger Health, and we facilitate quality and cost-effective healthcare access to rural and semi-urban population in North India. India's 70% population is concentrated in rural areas, but only 3% of the doctors reside there. Bihar and Uttar Pradesh are one of the most underserved states in the terms of healthcare aspect. Hailing from such areas, I and my co-founder Shubham have grown up seeing how it goes and how our community have to bear the cost, time, and efforts in searching and getting appointment with the right doctor, consulting with the right specialist, and accessing tertiary care treatment in big cities. 5 years back, when I met Shubham during our engineering, we identified that offering a solution to these issues can lead us to an untapped market of $3.7 billion only in UP and Bihar, and we started working on Bigger Health in 2019. At Bigger Health, we are redefining the healthcare access for the rural and semi-urban population, and we do it by creating channels fine-tuned to our target customers, which enables the patient to go through the entire healthcare process step by step, from primary teleconsultation to searching and booking hassle-free online with the right doctors in nearby cities, to diagnostic tests, to the medicine delivery, to hiring ambulance, to accessing tertiary care treatment in big cities. So our typical customer base include both the smartphone and non-smartphone users, and does not always understand which doctor to meet for a particular health issue. So keeping these users in mind, we have developed a vernacular mobile app and web app for the smartphone users. And for the non-smartphone users, we have a digital 24/7 helpline number and a digital clinic in partnership with the village pharmacies. And in the next 3 years, we aim to upgrade 10,000 village pharmacy into the digital clinics. So we work on the UNDP SDG 3 and enable access to quality essential healthcare to services to all. And we started our operation in September 2020, and from that day we have curated and onboarded over 300 doctors and facilitated quality and cost-effective treatment to more than 45,000 patients from 4 cities of the Bihar, with an estimated GMV of $250K. And in this process, we have saved around 200 wages of our patients. So on average, our users save $7 and 70% of the time in the process of accessing medical facilities from appointment to diagnostics. So these are our competitors, but they generally follow a service provider aggregation model, keeping the convenience of a informed and upper middle class customer in mind. But we at Bigo Health are focused on the lower middle class and underserved communities in the rural and semi-urban areas. And unlike our competitor, we focus on healthcare facilitation rather than service provider model. And our USP is that we emphasize on building the local doctor-patient ecosystem and facilitate the guided and progressive access to extended network whenever they need it. We do cater the convenience factor of the rural communities, but we go beyond to become a trusted healthcare partner for them in getting the reliable healthcare from the primary care in village to tertiary care in metros. We generate revenue in two forms and doctorization, clinic setup, and family health cards, and same for other facilitation charges. Our GTM includes social media ads, health camps, and poster at the doctor clinic. But to reach out and tackle the non-smartphone and older generation users, we do tie up with the local community touchpoint like pharmacy, CSC, e-seva kendra, and ASHA worker, and NGO as well to make them our access points. So in the next 3 years, we aim to impact 3 million patients by facilitating 1.9 million appointment and 1.2 million teleconsultation. Thus, we aim to save $8 million of wages and 10 million hours of time to generate a revenue of $5 million in next 3 years. Shubham and I both are the computer science engineer, and I take care of operation and finance. Shubham is primarily taking care of tech, and we have a team of 8 members to run our operations. So these are our mentors from the finance, doctors, and healthcare background. And here we are looking for a angel round of 200K for a runway of 12 to 15 months. So in the COVID, we helped more than 10,000 patients with the free doctor consultation, oxygen, and plasma management. For that, we have been featured by several national and international medias. And we are also incubated at the IIT Patna and IIM Kashipur. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Excellent, Gaurav. Awesome. I really loved that. Thank you so much. All right, so we have no questions. So I'd love to move on to the next startup. So introducing Wonder Woman. I'd love to invite on stage Sabira.
Hello. Am I
Hello.
visible?
Yes, we can hear you. We hear you. We see you.
Okay, just give me a second. Let me present the slide. Let me know if it's visible. Yeah.
Yep, we can see it. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. So today I'm representing Wonder Woman, a safe travel for women. Let me take you back to 2014 when I was invited to a global business competition, but I was denied by my family because I was a woman. They felt that it was not safe for me to travel out there. My male team members flew there and the competition was won by us. However, my gender lost. I realized that in Bangladesh, when I conducted a survey over 500 Bangladeshi women, I figured out that 87% of them are not traveling due to safety concerns. Even if they could not actually even kick off their travel journey because they had lack of information or they had budget constraints. Or even if they wanted to match their time, they could not find the friends or family. This is where I founded Wonder Woman in 2017. It's a one-stop solution for travel experience booking platform for women that's safe, hassle-free, and affordable. This is providing better travel information and creating a travelers community over Facebook and other social media platforms and helping women to go through our platform through women-only guided tours and helping them through holistic travel systems. We are earning through two business models. One is basically women-only guided tours where people can actually join in our tours and they do not need to take any kind of permission from their parents. This is actually helping them to get onboarded. On top of that, we are also providing travel consultancy services, which is newly provided right now, and due to the pilot test we have seen that this is actually more scalable and this is something through which we can earn up to 3.5 million by 2025. And why us? Because we are actually considered as a trusted platform because we have verified partners, we have an expert team with strong travel and work experience, we are providing safety standards and ensuring the global policies are maintained. On top of that, we are screening all the profiles that are being part of this platform. The competitive advantage is really high because when we look into the global platforms, for example, TripAdvisor and Klook, they are not being able to provide the women-only guided tours or not having any P2P itinerary studio where we are selling the itineraries and helping them with consultations. Moreover, we have the largest number of partners in Bangladesh. The traction has been massive because we have been in business for last 5 years and have been able to generate revenue for 220K till date and served more than 6,000 Bangladeshi women. We have hosted over 250 tours globally and raised more than 25,000 USD through grants and angel investors. And on top of that, one of the biggest assets of us is the organic growth of 50K plus followers where we did not even spend a single marketing cost. The impact has been massive as we have been able to focus on the gender equality SDG 5, where we have been able to insert and inject new female travelers into the tourism industry. Over 5,000 women are actually being benefited, and 25,000 plus women are actually part of this network. And they have shown that 70% of them have been improved with the positive well-being while they have travel experiences through us. And we have partnered with more than 500 plus business partners in tourism industry, and beyond that, we also partnered with empowered-based brands as well. The team has shown the gender equality right here. We have been inclusive, where women have dedicated their lives, who have experiences from top MNCs, universities, and startups. They have strong travel history, and they want to ensure that we are having safe and meaningful travel experiences. When we look into the market, this was something that was not even existing 5 years ago in Bangladesh, and now we are looking at a market which is more than $5 billion in South Asia. And on top of that, in only Bangladesh, we are looking at $175 million worth market. That gives us the confidence that even if we want to expand beyond Bangladesh, we can actually succeed. On top of that, we have already established partners in Sri Lanka, and now we are looking at Nepal and Pakistan. On top of that, we already have partners who are helping us to host the trips in 15 plus countries. Now we are raising pre-seed round, where we are looking at $500K, and through that we will be investing in our technology, because we want to have an automated booking platform through which we would be able to achieve $2 million revenue by 2024. On top of that, we want to provide innovative products that would be intuitive, interactive, and ensure safe and meaningful travel experiences. Moreover, we want to hire women developers, because we can see that women are actually scarce in STEM, and this is where we want to empower them. And lastly, we want to reach 1 million women in Asia through our platform. Imagine a world where women are traveling safely, freely, and fearlessly. And this is the world Wonder Woman is building right now. We want to thank Seedstars for an inclusive program and providing us the opportunity to showcase our platform. Thank you.
Fantastic, Sabira. Well done and really great. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move straight on to our next startup. So up next, I'd love to invite on stage, we have Andres, who is joining us from Bolivia. And he will be pitching the startup Minkeru. So Andres, over to you.
Great, hi. Thank you. Can you see my screen? It's correct?
We can see you. I'm just waiting for your screen. There we go. You're all good to go. Feel free to start.
Great. Hi, I'm Andres Kuzbert. I'm a co-founder of Minkeru, and at Minkeru, we connect and strengthen the role between parents and teachers to enhance student learning. Their mom, Lourdes, teacher Carmelo, and Lady is 12 years old. Lady did not attend school regularly and developed difficulties with reading, writing, and low self-esteem. But Lady has creative abilities. Mom, Lourdes, wants to provide educational support to Lady with a lack of self-esteem, and teacher Carmelo wants to improve her methodologies in the classroom to help with writing problems. Like Lady, in 2021, more than 850 million students in the world increased their learning problems due to the closure of schools and universities. How do we enhance the role between parents and teachers to reduce learning problems? Minkeru is an online learning platform that connects and strengthens the role between parents and teachers to enhance student learning. And how do we do it? We unify the learning and teacher experiences between home and classroom by connecting training between parents and teachers under 3 pillars. We implement online school for parents and teachers by areas, levels, and subjects. We measure growth through accompaniment sessions and the application of resources at home and in the classroom. And we create a collaborative community through spaces to share experiences and challenges. What did we achieve? With a learning path adapted to the local language and experience, the parents and teachers, it's increase and achieve greater engagement and knowledge of the students through the work of parents and teachers. In Minkeru, for each learning path for parents, there is an adapted learning path for teachers. This is a big market, but a giant impact opportunity. With Minkeru, we pursue a global market of more than $10 trillion. In Latin America alone, we seek to achieve a 6% market share in the next 5 years. Minkeru is a solution that connects learning from home and the classroom, providing training adapted to challenges and local language and experiences. And this is a success story. Lady, strengthening the role between parents and teachers, Lady overcome her writing challenges and enhanced her creativity thanks to her cloth syllabary built with her mom. And Mom Lourdes is implementing her local swimming knowledge as teaching methodologies in her home. and teacher Carmelo now is implementing the methodology based on the game under the pillars of educational research. We started our building in January 2021 and achieved $58,000 in annual revenue until December 2021, with a community of more than 28,000 users. Our principal goal is to enhance social, emotional, and cognitive development for 70.5 million students in vulnerable situations by 2025 through training and role between parents and teachers. Neto offers courses on learning paths with permanent access at a cost of $12 each and offers a monthly subscription with access to all content to $22. We work with companies, schools, organizations, universities, government, municipalities, and individual users. Our beneficial model is part of our social impact. Why do we do it? Almost 45% of the population in Latin America lives in situations of vulnerability. In a time of 6 and 9 months, we managed to get our beneficiaries to be users in Neto. We are two founders, Jan Mendoza, who is professional in educational science on her experience as teachers. It's strengthening educational architecture. And my personal work and development and experience in the product. In Neto, we seek global growth and impact from the work of parents and teachers. We multiply the impact of millions of students. It's raising $240,000 in our pre-seed round. And together, we can reduce the lack of educational accessibility for millions of children and young people through the work of parents and teachers. Thanks for your time.
Well done, Anja. It's awesome. Fantastic. Thanks so much for your pitch. Really good to see it. If there's any questions, guys, now please do feel free to answer them in the chat box. But if not, we will move on to our last, but not least, certainly, to our last startup. So our final startup today is Hydro Wind Energy. And to present it, I believe we have Dennis joining us. So let's see if we can get Dennis up on stage. So at the moment, it doesn't look like we can. Okay, sure. So give us just a couple of seconds to get this sorted. But incredible to think we've already been through 14 startups pitches and we've got one last one to go. Each and every one has certainly been
all the hallmarks to solving one of the biggest challenges of the 21st century: fresh water, access to clean fresh water. Between the 16th and 17th of December 2021, Super Typhoon Rai made landfall over 7 provinces across the Philippines, causing widespread damage to houses, public infrastructure, power and telecommunication services. Overnight, the typhoon left hundreds dead and hundreds of thousands of families homeless. 2 months on, and almost 150,000 people remain displaced, with many still without access to clean water. One of the biggest challenges following a disaster like this is, how do you urgently provide fresh drinking water to an affected population after such a devastating event? Current solutions available to aid and humanitarian organizations are water disinfectants, water treatment units, and delivering bottled water. However, all these present logistic headaches and come at an immense cost economically and environmentally. The problem is even bigger. 2 billion people have no access to clean water, with waterborne diseases from water contamination leading to deaths of an estimated 5 million people yearly. This is where Quincy comes in. We've developed the world's only low-cost, handheld, manually powered seawater desalination device that empowers an individual to produce their own fresh water from seawater at a really low cost, anytime, anywhere. How did we achieve this, you may ask? Well, we did with a series of natural filters and a reverse osmosis membrane with which one can desalinate their own water, thanks to a hydraulic system and a lengthy lever that extends from the device, making it easy to pump and carry around. Ultimately, what we've done is miniaturize what happens in large-scale desalination plants into a small handheld device. With 3 billion people expected to live in highly water-stressed regions by 2027 and 40% of global population residing in coastal areas, Quincy can be deployed in almost every part of the world for a variety of use cases, giving it the ability to impact the lives of millions of people in several developed and developing countries. Users of the device would be people affected in natural catastrophes, refugees, sailors, preppers, and the marine sector, while the purchasers would be government emergency management agencies, corporates, military, NGOs, and others. For the above-mentioned users, our studies show that the market is in the order of 66 billion for both the Quincy devices and the RO membranes. Since we launched, we've built an active community on Facebook and Instagram, and we've also received product pre-orders of over $400,000 from our website. Our product pricing model is $50 retail at a $25 production cost. The revenues generated so far are a combination of our crowdfunding campaign and soft launch of the product on our website. Quincy promises exponential growth when commercially launched in May 2022. We're also devising strategies on how we can close the loop on the collection and recycling of our RO membranes and pre-filters. The aim is to reduce waste and make Quincy fully recyclable. For expected impact, Quincy focuses on the SDG targets 3.9 and 6.1, which is to substantially reduce deaths and illnesses caused by unhygienic water and to achieve universal and equitable access to clean and affordable water for all by 2030. We're looking for institutional partners interested in achieving similar SDG goals and targets. These could be government agencies, humanitarian organizations, or simply corporate entities with similar CSR goals. We have an exceptional team who built the foundations of Quincy. Lee King, the CEO, Haik Vasilian, the CTO, Mariam Hassani, the Chief Innovation Director, and an amazing team of engineers and other experts who have brought us to this present stage. The team is based in the UAE, Armenia, and the UK. As a product, Quincy truly represents two of HydroWind's values that resonate the most with me: trailblazer and environmental stewardship. Join us on our journey. Thank you.
Wow, that is it. There we have it. We have all 15 of our startups. So I think we potentially might have a question up here. But unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties for Dennis. So if you do have questions for Dennis, hopefully you will be able to join him on the tables in the networking area. But just guys, please use the emojis at the bottom of the screen, show some love, give some congratulations to all of our startups for being such excellent pitches, for bringing forward these kind of incredible ideas from all over the world. We had Nigeria, we had Bolivia, we had it all over the place. So really, really cool to see all of these ideas. We're going to wrap up the event now. It's been awesome to hear some of the panel discussion earlier from UNDP, from Seedstars, from Gobi Partners, and to have a bit of a deep dive into the respective businesses. But it is, I'm very sad to say, the end of our session today. So please feel free to stay with us after. You'll be directed to our networking lounge where you can talk to the 15 startups today and also to the other startups in the cohort that are also here. So yeah, without further ado, I think we can wrap it up here. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And I hope to see some of you in the networking lounges. All right, I think that's it. Thanks so much, everyone.